Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here at the Fast Lane Car, and behind the camera is Roman.
Hey guys!
And behind us is the 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. Now last week we had an opportunity to tell you about the top 5 reasons why this is the most expensive Jeep. But we also promised you driving impressions, and coming up next, that's exactly what we're going to do. Full disclosure guys, Jeep invited Roman and I out here, so they flew us out to Maine to drive this vehicle and fill us full of lobster before we actually had a chance to drive it. I can tell you this, it was a very long trip.
I don't eat lobster, Nathan.
I know you don't, that's why I eat tons of it, it's great.
So Nathan, we just got off the track.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it on the track?
It's a beast, but it's a sweetheart of a beast. Daily driving so far, no big deal. It's basically like the SRT. On the track, it kind of beats you up a little bit. You know, when you push it, G-forces shove you back in the seat.
1.4 Gs are saying at full acceleration.
It's beefy, it's meaty.
I call it a sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer is a really good thing to call it.
Accelerates hard, it shifts hard, it brakes hard.
Really hard, yeah. Brakes are really tight. You guys know this engine. It's the big Hemi with 707 horsepower, but this one has 645 pound-feet of torque, which is 5 less than the Hellcat. But remember, this is an all-wheel drive vehicle with an 8-speed automatic transmission, and they've had to augment the hell out of it in order to beef it up so it can handle that much power to all 4 wheels. It kind of reminds me of the BMW X5M with an attitude.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
That's a really good way of putting it. And speaking of the X5M, you know, that's one of the cars it competes against. It's the X5M, the Porsche Cayenne Turbo, obviously the AMG Mercedes, and then probably the Bentayga, except the Bentayga is a lot more expensive.
A lot more expensive. And the Bentayga, that's a vehicle that you can actually take off-roading. Well, in theory. This really, you're not going to do that. You're going to, at the most, you're going to take it up to a nice snowy chalet. But for the most part, this is a day-to-day driver.
Hey Nathan, did you know that the Trackhawk is the only Grand Cherokee with 6-piston yellow Brembos?
That's right, up front they are 6-piston, in the back they're 4-piston, and the yellow ones really help you tell it apart from the regular SRT. What Jeep actually said is that this is more function over form. So they didn't add anything to it in terms of looks. What they did was make it more effective.
You mean like these?
Vented hood, baby!
Vented hood, yeah. I think Nathan's in love with this thing.
I'm in love with it. Yes.
It's your kind of vehicle.
This is exactly my type of vehicle. And the bottom line is this, it defies physics. It does things it shouldn't be able to do. And it's basically a large sports wagon that you can tow with. I mean, what's not to love?
7,200 pounds of towing capability. That's pretty darn good.
As I said before, you can actually tow a car to the track, and then you can use this vehicle to beat that car on the track.
Another way you can tell the supercharged Grand Cherokee from the run-of-the-mill Cherokee is right here. It's missing its fog lights, and that's because this is where that big supercharger gets its air from. It's more of a Dodge than a Jeep. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it feels like a car. It doesn't feel like any type of SUV, but neither does the SRT Grand Cherokee.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The other thing that really strikes me is just how luxurious this interior is, right? It's kind of, they put a lot of time and effort. Like, they've got this very expensive carbon fiber. I know how much you love that.
I hate carbon fiber.
I mean, they've got the stitching everywhere.
That's nice. Steering wheel feels great in hand. It's nice and thick.
Very thick.
Actually, my issue is the seats.
Yeah.
With this much performance, I want more bolstering. No, they really don't.
They're not as bad as a Hellcat, but nevertheless.
I prefer, usually, not a lot of bolstering. I'm a big fat guy, so I prefer not having that. But on the track, these seats, to me, they needed a little bit more grab.
I agree. I was slipping and sliding all over the track in the car. The thing that I think I would say about it is it's got a very long and wide range of performance, right? We've got 5 modes here, right? We've got track, sport, auto, snow, and tow.
Right.
That's 5 different modes. And right now we're just in auto mode, putting along on the street, and it's about as docile as a pussycat.
Yeah, it really is a pussycat. It just cruises along.
But when you floor it, go for it. There it it goes.
It gets violent and angry, and it basically brandishes a very large hatchet.
One of the options that makes this Trackhawk so expensive is back here. It actually comes with a tow package, and it will tow 7,200 pounds, which is significant for a relatively, let's call it mid-sized Jeep.
Economy. Look, if you're going to buy this, don't expect very good economy. Come on. All right, here it is. 11 miles per gallon city, 17 miles per gallon highway, 13 combined. However, Roman and I have been averaging 14 miles per gallon.
Wow, 14, Nathan.
I know, but I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect?
Yeah, if you're gonna pay 100K for a Jeep,
then it's no big deal. But Roman and I had an interesting discussion, something I want you guys to chime in on. This vehicle's been around for a while. The Jeep Grand Cherokee is, frankly, kind of getting long in the tooth. So this is their swan song as far as we're concerned, which means, what are they going to do to replace this?
yeah, let's just give some quick numbers. 0 to 60, they say is 3.5.
I believe it.
A quarter mile, 11.66, yeah. And
60 to 0 is 114 feet.
Yep, 7,200 pound of towing capability.
This thing weighs about 5,500 pounds.
And the interesting one, which is why I'm calling it a Dodge and not a Jeep, is because it has 8 inches of ground clearance, but you don't want to take it off-road.
No, you really don't. I mean, I already asked Roman if I could take it on Gold Mine Hill. He said no. And we don't want to mess up the wheels, I suppose, but I think you could do it, honestly. But the other side of it is, this isn't an SUV. Bottom line, it's not. In my mind, this is a sports wagon, period.
Yeah, I could go with that. You mean like in the grandest tradition, CTSV, Mercedes AMG, BMW M5.
Exactly. This is as close as we can get in the United States to a sports wagon.
The MSRP of this Jeep is about $35 under 100K, and that's a serious chunk of change for a Jeep. And for that, you get some very nice leather, you get real carbon fiber, you get beautiful stitching, but you also get the switchgear from a regular Jeep Grand Cherokee, and that's a little on the plasticky side. Now there are actually 4 FC8 cars now that have the Hellcat engine, the 707 horsepower engine, or a variation.
A variation of it, yeah.
So it starts with the Hellcat,
yep,
which is cheaper than this.
Yes, it is.
Then you go up to the Hellcat Y-body, which is cheaper than this.
Yes.
And then you end up at the Demon, which if you're not paying over sticker, which you probably will be, but at MSRP is cheaper than this. So this is the most expensive Hellcat engine that you can get in an FC8 vehicle.
It's in my mind, even with the markup in price that this has because of all the options, it's worth it. My mind. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it.
Is it worth it?
Says the man who bought the Hellcat in the first place.
Is it worth it? The Hellcat has a lot of attitude.
This has a lot of attitude.
This is more subtle, Nathan.
A little bit, it is. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
It's more subtle. I mean, the Hellcat is like, you walk in the bar and it punches you in the face without even asking your name.
Well, this is the one that shoves the knife in your back when you're done.
So, Nathan, when will this bad boy be available?
The fourth quarter of 2017.
As always, this is Roman.
And Nathan.
Saying thanks for watching. Remember, check out tflcar.com for more news, views.
And real world reviews.
And, yeah, crazy, fast, expensive.
Fun as hell.
Jeep Trackhawk reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao.
Bye.